Good early afternoon and welcome back to another episode of the Blitz. Today, guys, we got football. Football back is Sunday. Um, we're just gonna run through some pick'ems for today for you guys. It's been a pretty interesting season so far. This is definitely supposed to be a good week. We got a couple interesting games. As always, I have with me, Jay King and Big
Yo,
Rob. How you guys doing today? Who are we?
Doing good, man.
I'll just ask you favorite game today. We won't even pick it yet, but Rob first, favorite game today.
Favorite game. Let me look on the schedule.
Besides the Dolphins, New England.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. All right.
Check it out here.
Let me see here. I'm looking at that Dallas Los Angeles game. I think that's going to be a real good game.
That is,
Cowboys
yeah.
and Cowboys and Rams today. That should be a real good one. And then
absolutely.
I'm looking at Monday Night Football. That should be a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
Las Vegas, Kansas City. So those are some good games right there. Those are a couple.
What you got, Jay? Favorite game to look forward to today?
Yeah, man. If you're at best game, I think the game that's going to be the most exciting to watch is definitely that Sunday night game, Cincinnati and Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
There's a lot of exciting ones though to come. I think Philly's got their first real big challenge in Arizona today, so that's a good one. But the one that I think is going to be most important to all the teams involved. The two most important games that is are Atlanta and Tampa,
That was
and
mine.
yeah, Atlanta and Tampa and Seattle and New Orleans. I think all four of those teams, a loss today would drastically affect where they're going to be at come the end of the season based on who they've
Mm-hmm.
played already. So especially with those being interconference games, the NFC South being close, everybody in the NFC West being tied. So I think
Yep.
those are big time games right there.
For sure, for sure. Well, let's get straight into it. The first game we'll go on and check out. And before I get started, anybody watching, thanks for watching. Make sure you're following us on all our social medias. They're scrolling down there at the bottom. Make sure you check those out. But we just watched the ending of the Giants Packers game. Giants 27 over the Packers 22. Pretty crazy game. Packers had it in hand most of the game, and the Giants had a little second half comeback there. But on to the 1 o'clock slate that's starting here in about 20-25 minutes. First game is Lions Patriots. I'll start off here. I think this is a tough spot for the Patriots just because no Mac Jones. I like Bailey Zapp, the rookie out of Western Kentucky, who lit it up in college. Obviously, was a beast. He played good too when he got his shot last week. But I think Detroit just looks better. Amon St. Brown is playing. Even without DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams is a beast. So I
Yeah,
think Detroit steals this one.
yeah, I'm gonna have to lean on Detroit as well. They are missing DJ Chark.
Mm,
However, in the first 4 weeks, it really seems like he's having trouble getting acclimated to the offense, and that Josh Reynolds is really the guy who's going to
mm-hmm.
fulfill that 50-50 ball role for them as of right now. They'll get to push Khalif Raymond back into the lineup. He had a great season
Mm-hmm.
last year for him. So, um, however, the Patriot Bailey Zapp is a baller. We didn't get to see him in a full game of action
Yeah.
last week, and they do get Tyquan Thornton back today. They're the receiver they took in the draft this year. 22 years old. He was having a great camp, and he sprained his shoulder midway through the camp. Hasn't played since. So this will be his first game back active. It's a guy to watch that really could make an impact for the Patriots today. But I got the Lions taking it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Detroit too. I like their offense. If their defense could just play well enough to stop the Patriots, I think the Lions win this game. It's good that Amon Ross St. Brown is playing. Obviously, they still have DeAndre Swift out. He'll be back
Yeah.
after their bye week next week. Next week is week 6, so he'll be back after the bye in week 7. But if Jamal Williams could just run well enough, I think he could definitely pick up the slack. And
Yeah.
Jared Goff just has to limit his mistakes, not throw like interceptions. Because I think the
Yeah,
last time he faced Belichick was in the Super Bowl with the Rams, and he just couldn't get anything going. But he's going to have to today, especially on the road in New England.
Yeah.
Get out to a good start. Try to get the lead early, and that Lions defense will definitely have to step up.
I think we could see a high scoring game here. Like you were saying, Jared Goff reduces his mistakes. Jamal Williams runs like he did last week. Lions are giving up like an average of 35 points. It was, I think, maybe 33 a game right now. So, but we saw what Bailey Zapp did in college. We saw him in that little time last week. I think he can score. The Patriots offense is set up to score. It might not be the most efficient, but both of these offenses are set up to score. I like the Patriots defense a little bit better, to be honest, but it sounds like we all got Detroit winning this one.
Yeah.
We'll go the next one. Chargers Browns. And I'll let y'all start for first on this one because we obviously know my answer.
All right, I'll go ahead and start. Yeah, I think this is going to be a game that could go like either way. I like
Mm,
the Chargers because obviously they have the better quarterback, and as far as the weapons go, I mean they are still missing Keenan Allen, which hurts them. But I think the Chargers defense is going to definitely have to step up today to hold
yeah.
those running backs down, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. If they can do that, I like their chances because I think that the Browns are kind of one dimensional with Brissett. Uh, but he's going to be looking for Amari Cooper and David Njoku if they can't get that running game going. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the Chargers definitely got to step up their D and cover those two guys well as uh, as well as stacking up the box to stop the running backs. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers here. They just got the better quarterback. I think they got the better offense
Mm-hmm.
and the better defense. I think it could be a close competitive game though. But I'm
Yeah, I
going
think
with
it'll be close.
your team, Blake. I'm going with the Chargers. Go Chargers, go.
What's
Bolt
up,
up.
baby?
Yeah, I'm gonna be the only one different on this one, man. I'm gonna go Cleveland. I do agree that it's gonna be a low scoring game, very low scoring. I'm thinking maybe 20-14 type score.
Mm-hmm.
Could go either way. I agree it could go either way. I think the Chargers this year so far have struggled to push the ball downfield, which is a common struggle that them and the Browns both have right now. Browns
Mm-hmm.
for a little bit different of a reason. They have their quarterback woes. But the Chargers have kind of struggled to get guys going downfield. I think the absence of Keenan Allen has really hurt them. They got guys like Hill, who they drafted last year, who haven't really panned out. Jalen Guyton hasn't made a big improvement in their receiving core, so they're really feeling low in the receiving core, even though they have some reputable names. We will see Donald Farham get back on the field today. He finally got cleared today, so we could see some
Yeah.
sets between him and Gerald Everett. But I think I'm going to go with the Browns off the strength. I think they'll be able to dominate the time of possession today. I think Jacoby Brissett has less pressure on him to win the game than what Justin Herbert has on him to win the game. And when you have a good run game and you can put your quarterback in that situation, it's a good formula for turning out wins.
Yeah, I love that. I love that point you just made as far as the pressure with the quarterback, because I feel like that's a lot of what our problems are. The Chargers' problems are right now, um, and the Herbert and this offense are just not clicking. He's managed to pull out some wins with this offense, but this offense, it seems right now, Lombardi's running for him. Our OC is just not gonna be what does it.
It's like an identity.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and to me, I always think of this. I won't get too crazy into it, but I always think of this when I think of Lombardi's offense, and I watch Lombardi's offense. He's still running an offense around Drew Brees.
Yeah,
This is not Drew Brees. Justin Herbert can throw it 70 yards.
yeah.
Let him. You know what I'm saying? Mike Williams. The reason we paid Mike Williams last year is because he can go get 50-50 balls down the field. Just oh shit, nobody's open, throw it up. Mike Williams. They're not letting him do that right now. So I do think it just depends on how our offense plays. Our defense, like Rob said earlier, definitely gonna have to find a way to stop the run because that's been our biggest issue probably the last 3 4 years, and we just went and made all those acquisitions in off
Yeah,
season for that, literally to stop the run. Joey Bosa's out, but I like Chris Rumpf, our second year man out of Duke. Last year
yeah.
that we drafted third round. Chris Rumpf's been
But
been
good ball
decent.
player.
And then you have all of those rotating guys inside. You got Jason Tillery, round one pick a couple years ago. Morgan Fox, who Brandon Staley brought over from Carolina. You got Austin Johnson, Brendan Fahoke. So we got bodies in it. Sebastian Joseph Day, who they got from the Rams. So they should be stopping the run. So it's
Yes.
kind of frustrating seeing that. But I won't dwell on them too long. I do like them to win today, though. Though because I think we're starting to catch a stride. I think we're starting to get in pace with each other. Um, like you guys said, Keenan being out is I think what prevents us from winning this by like 10, 14, as well as Joey. But I think we pull out a close one, probably
Yeah.
Yeah,
7 point game.
yeah. A couple things I want to say real quick. If you play
Hmm.
fantasy, obviously look out for Mike Williams today. Look out for Joshua,
Mike Williams,
and
got to watch.
definitely look out for Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett's been playing out of his mind lately. I think he's been playing really well. They're missing Keenan Allen, so look for Herbert to throw him the ball as well as Joshua Palmer, and obviously Mike Williams, the top receiver right now
Yeah,
until
I
Keenan
think
Allen gets
Josh.
back.
I think Josh Palmer's banged up too a little bit, but Gerald Everett. I know in a lot of my fantasy drafts,
Yeah,
there's like three or four top, tight ends, and then outside of that, it was just like a toss up. A lot
yeah,
of my drafts, I'm in four teams, and about three of them I have Gerald Everett, just because I was like, he seems like a receiving tight end. This
Yeah.
seems like an
yeah,
offense he could get really involved in, and I was
yeah,
Absolutely.
kind of just a half court shot, but he's right now the sixth overall fantasy running
yeah.
tight end right now. So definitely,
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely a good look. Gerald Everett, if he's on your waiver wires, not a bad roster.
Yeah, you can't forget about Austin Eckler either. Like he'll get a lot of the checkdowns
Yeah,
and run.
Eckler just started
He'll
getting.
obviously be running a lot, and he'll get a lot of the checkdowns in the passing game. So
Hmm.
he can definitely get you a lot of points. And if you play PPR, so I
Yeah.
would look out for those guys. I think it's going to be a great game between the Chargers and Browns. I honestly do. This is one of the better games of the day. These are two very good teams. The Browns are kind of like a physical team. I see the
Hmm.
Chargers in more finesse, but they do have a good defense, and yeah, I think it's going to be a hell of a good game. Man. I think it's really a toss up. I mean, I'm taking the Chargers, but yeah, it's going to be a great game.
Definitely one of the
Definitely.
best games on the afternoon slate.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. The next one we'll jump to is, and this in years past would have been a let's skip this game, but Texans and Jaguars.
Yeah, man.
Um, Normally we'd be like, nah, who cares? But
Yeah.
I think the Jags win, and it's closer than people think. The Jags have started this really good run this year, and everybody, is starting to hop on the Jags bandwagon, kind of like in 2015, I think it was, Blake Bortles' year. But Houston played the Chargers really good last week. Damien Pierce, rookie out of Florida, probably the best rookie running back in the class. Stat wise, he definitely is right now as far as stats. But by the end of the year, he may be the unchallenged best rookie running back. So if he can keep going today with Rex Burkhead, and Rex Burkhead, as you guys know, we've watched Rex Burkhead for what last 4 or 5 years now. He's always been right under us, RB1. So with him, you add him in there too. He's a pretty good piece to have there too. So I think the Houston Davis Mills honestly isn't a bad quarterback either.
Not at
So
all.
I think their offense is going to be okay. Like I think that it'll be a game. They were able to put up 24 against us last week, so I think it's close. But I give the Jags like 7 points. Jags won by like a touchdown.
Yeah, I think both of these teams are two of the 10 most improved teams in the NFL.
Oh yeah, top five honestly.
Now, I think Jacksonville's either number one or number two most improved. I think
Yeah.
the Texans are somewhere in there inside the top 10. But um, I agree. This is a close game, and this is a good matchup. I think the Texans this year are the team that nobody wants to see when it matters, despite whether they're good, bad, or ugly. I think they're pretty good to keep any team in a game. I like your comment about Damien Pierce. They're continually getting him more touches every week. I think that we're going to see Nico Collins continue to improve as the weeks go on. And I agree. Davis Mills is a young quarterback. I think he's very similar to Daniel Jones in the sense that he was a little bit of a project based on his level of competition in
Yeah,
college. But
I'm gonna hop in here real quick. We got somebody pretty much, and you can keep going, but add on to this. It said it actually just says Facebook user. I don't know who that is. Measuring stick game for the Jags question mark. It's a divisional game, but if the Jags are really turning the corner, then they should beat the Texans.
and
So
I
I
agree.
agree. I agree with the person in our comments right there 100%. I think this is a test for the Jags to see if they're turning it. And it's also a test for the Texans to see, hey, are we the same team as last year? I think the tie last week was really good for them to go ahead and see. So Yeah, I'm going to take the Jags personally. I am going to take
Yeah.
the Jags in this matchup. I think that the Trevor Lawrence offense is legit. I like guys like Josh Allen on their defense. Kavion Cheshawn are good. They're good players.
Hmm.
They can make plays across the board. So I'm going to go Jags here. Maybe a 20-12, 24-12 ish score.
Yeah. What we got, Rob? We got to hurry up and get through these. Them games are gonna
Yeah,
be on before we're done talking.
yeah,
Let's run through these.
yeah. I'm gonna go with the Jags here too. I just think they're the better team on offense and defense. I like how
Mm.
Trevor Lawrence is playing, getting the ball to Christian Kirk.
Trevor
I like
Lawrence
how
looks
James
great.
Robinson. I like how James Robinson's running the ball. I would like to see Travis Etienne getting involved more, but it's going to
Hmm.
take some time. He's coming off an injury from last year, so yeah, I'll take the Jags in this one. It's going to be a close game, but I'm going with Jacksonville.
Awesome, awesome. And that was Walt. Our Facebook user was Walt. I don't know why I didn't say it was him, but
Yeah,
What's up,
appreciate
Walt?
appreciate that, Walt.
yeah,
Next game we'll go with Falcons Bucks. One of probably my favorite game to watch besides the Charger game today, and
Absolutely.
only because the Falcons are playing really good right now. I know they've lost some close ones, but with Mariota coming in, we nobody expected Mariota to play as good as he's playing right now. So I think it's gonna be, and then the Bucks kind of with their struggles as well. This isn't a Bucks team that we were expecting to see, just like this isn't a Falcons team we weren't expecting to see. So I think it's gonna be a really good matchup. I think just because the Bucks are starting to get it together and their defense is just unreal, to be honest, week in and week out. I think that the Bucks pull this one off, but I think this one also is a one possession game.
yeah. I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay in this one as well. The Bucks didn't play well last week against the Kansas City Chiefs at home.
Mm,
Patrick Mahomes got them. At the end they scored. They made it closer than it was. It was like what 41-31, I think. But
yeah.
yeah, Tom Brady's getting all his wide receivers back. They're getting healthy. They got that defense. I think it might be a blowout. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa Bay blows them out, but I wouldn't also be surprised if it's a close game because Atlanta has been looking better
Hmm.
recently. They've been winning some games. I like how Mariota's playing, and I also like the rookie Drake London how he's been playing as well.
Hmm.
And I know they don't have Kyle Pitts, but I think Drake London will step up. They have some other guys that'll step up.
Oh, okay.
Cordell Pat,
They're
Fantasy.
awesome.
yeah,
Just a fantasy shout out real quick that I actually just thought about myself. Kyle Pitts is out,
yeah,
so I
Another
know
rookie.
myself. I know myself. I was debating on starting Drake London over James Robinson in one of my fantasy leagues, but with that being the only viable receiving target that the Falcons have right now, I might be starting Drake London over a
yeah.
running back two right now in your flex.
I
I
So,
think
got I got both in a bunch of DFS lineups on DraftKings,
mhm,
so I'm hoping both of them do well.
awesome.
So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I'm hoping I can win some money today.
Yeah,
Put in a line at lineups, man. You never know what's gonna happen. It's football,
hundred
so we'll
percent.
see. We'll see what happens.
I think that Drake London is a great pick for today to be a standout player in the game today. This might be his first come to the scene game
Hmm.
as a receiver in the NFL.
Let me
I
start
will
him.
say, man, I did believe the hype about Mariota coming to the Falcons. I
Hmm.
was very confident or very sure that this division would be one that was decided by one or two games in the NFC South. That being said, I think I'm going to go reluctantly go Tampa this week for this reason.
Hmm. Same.
Tampa's getting healthy right now, and Atlanta's dealing with injuries. They're missing Kyle Pitts. They just put Cordell Patterson on IR.
Ooh,
That's a big miss,
Yeah,
which leads me to my fantasy pickup. Uh, they
Tyler
drafted,
Algier.
well, it's not Tyler Algier, but I will mention him. They drafted two running backs this year in their
Hmm.
draft, Tyler Algier and Caleb Huntley. Last
Oh
week
yeah,
it was the bell
Tyler
cow, and
Algier looks good.
Huntley.
they
Yeah.
announced on Monday that he will be competing for the number one role. Algier's been a bit disappointing, so if you're looking for a cheap flyer, Caleb Huntley's a guy that I would throw in there in confidence that he's going to get some touches. Damien Williams isn't active yet today either, so their running back room is really thin right there, just those two guys. But yeah,
Mm.
I got the Falcons right now, or I'm sorry, the Bucks right now. They're getting healthy. All their receivers are back, able to build some of that chemistry. Godwin's back. They just have guys all across the board that they haven't had.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna just go
No wait.
Tampa.
I'll let finish. Go ahead, man.
No,
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'm,
That's
I'm,
all. That's all.
yeah. By the way, I was gonna say if you're playing fantasy, no Julio Jones today, so he doesn't get to play
Hmm.
against his old team in the revenge game. That
Yeah.
kind of sucks. I had him in a few lineups today, but I took him out. And but I think Russell Gage might have a good game.
I
He
agree.
doesn't
Definitely.
play for the Falcons, so look out for Russell Gage having a good game. But they got Godwin, obviously, and Mike Evans are the go-to guys for Tampa Bay. And another guy I think I forgot to mention with Tampa Bay is they have this young tight end. I think what's his name, Caleb
Houghton.
Houghton. Yeah, look out for that.
And
That
yeah.
guy. That guy's pretty good too. Look out for
Yeah.
him.
So I think it's Chris Godwin's comeback game right here. I think this is the game we see him go for 100 yards and a touchdown. Um, but yeah, this will definitely be an interesting one.
Saints
I
and
don't.
Seattle.
We're not. Hold on. We're not even gonna talk about this one. We're just unless somebody has something crazy to say. Steelers and Bills.
Bills.
Bills. Okay, Bills.
Bills.
I
Bills.
can't. I want to see what Kenny Pickett does today, and
Yep.
that's the only positive that I think we'll see from Pittsburgh. Possibly,
Yeah.
is Kenny Pickett today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Bills there. Bears and Vikings. I'm just gonna say Vikings. I don't think.
Yeah. Vikings.
Okay, I don't think there'll be any
Yeah. I think that's a
debate there.
I think that's a
Closer
close
to
game
people
too, but
think. Yeah.
Vikings will end up getting it off the strength of
I,
veteran leadership.
Exactly. I think Justin Fields is coming. He's coming into himself. I do agree that I've watched him over the last couple of weeks, and even though he's only thrown like 30 passes this whole season, he's working on being a better quarterback. So they're just not there yet, I believe, which is why
Yeah, they're not.
Vikings are on the
Yeah.
board.
They don't have a single receiver that's making an
Yeah.
impact in their game.
Yeah, not a single one.
Darnell Mooney hasn't done
Before we get into these good games, we'll keep kind of going through these other ones. We're just gonna do the 1 o'clock slate. We'll leave the 4 o'clock and night games alone. Um, Titans and Commanders. I have Titans in that game, but I could see the Commanders winning it. Carson Wentz is good for like 4 games a season, and this could be one of them. So
Yeah.
Titans Commanders. Yeah,
I'm
we'll
going.
be
I'm
okay.
going with the Commanders, man. I think at home, uh, they're coming off a tough loss at Dallas. I can see them definitely winning this game. I mean, all they really need to do is stack the box against Derrick Henry and force Tannehill to try to beat them. And they're missing one of their wide receivers, Traylon Burks, who's on IR right now. They're missing like the next four weeks.
Yeah.
So look to Tannehill to be throwing a lot to Robert Woods. He's
Yep.
another good fantasy pick for today. So, yeah,
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's
I'm
what
gonna go Titans. I'm gonna go Titans there. I do think this is another very good game. I'm just how I feel about Carson Wentz. I can't side.
Yeah.
Now the Washington is getting some people back today. Logan Thomas is in his second game back from injury. That's going to be good. Brian Robinson was declared active today. Uh,
Awesome to hear that.
yeah,
Awesome to hear that. Bless up to him. At the beginning
Yeah.
of the season, they were saying that he was going to take the one role from Antonio Gibson. So that's something to look out for. They can get a strong run game going. Washington could be a much improved team, but I also think Tennessee is just starting to hit a stride.
Mhm.
Derrick Henry's hitting his stride. And I think Traylon Burks being out is actually going to be a good thing for their pass game. Will allow them to focus more on hitting Robert Woods on the looks that they
Yeah.
are looking for.
yeah.
All
Logan
right. Getting
Thomas is
into Logan Thomas is out.
Yeah, they declared him out, so he's inactive
Ah,
today.
See, that's a big one.
That's
That's a
tough.
big one
Yeah.
for them.
We can get into that Saints Seahawks game. You don't want to hear this, but is Damien's playing today, Jay?
No,
James is
thank
out.
God.
He's doubtful.
No,
They got
listen,
Andy Dalton
Dennis
starting.
Dennis Allen needs to let him rest up, man. He needs to let him rest up.
I like the Seahawks then today.
Yeah,
I like
and I do
Geno.
too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm only gonna go with the Saints maybe because they're at home, but I could definitely see the Seahawks winning this game with Geno Smith and the wide receivers. Look out for Tyler Lockett and
DK.
obviously DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Either of those guys could have a big game, and definitely look out for Rashad Penny in the running game. So yeah, it's gonna be.
I think that DK Metcalf has had a tough time in DK Metcalf has really had his way so far in the NFL with Marshawn Lattimore.
Mhm.
So that's a concerning topic. I do trust Andy Dalton as the starting quarterback to win a game with
100%.
defense. So
Yeah.
I will end up picking the Saints in a very, very, very tight game, coming down to being able to stop Rashad Penny with our defensive front. I think that we'll be fine defending the tight ends in the pass game, but I do expect Geno Smith to make very, very few mistakes, and I think this game is going to come
Exactly.
down to which team makes the least mistakes. Definitely, I don't think there's going to be a lot of points on the board. Saints are
And
also drastically unhealthy, especially
Yeah,
at the wide receiver.
exactly.
So
yeah.
it's ugly.
Yep. You're
Tough
missing
to
Michael Thomas. You're missing Jameis Winston. You're missing like the core of that
Jarvis
offense.
injury.
Yeah,
Jarvis Landry's out. Alvin
yeah,
Kamara is just getting back, and he hasn't been super productive this year. So you're
yeah.
you're still trying to figure out a lot on that offense. So we'll see if they can do it in game, make the right adjustments. It does come down to coaching a little bit at the end of the day too. If they can out coach Pete Carroll, then they might be able to
Highly
pull him out
doubtful.
of dub. But
Look
exactly
out for
with
Chris
Gino.
Olave.
Gino's been in this system so long. I think everybody was surprised he played this good. Gino is not a bad quarterback. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? In a system that works so good for Russell Wilson, we're seeing it work good for him. My side note for this game is any betters out there, any of my gamblers, Will Disley, the tight end
Big
for
big
the
pick for
Seahawks.
sure.
I don't know if he's considered tight end 1 or 2. I
Mhm.
want to say 2 because of Noah Fant, but he scored in 3 out of 4 games this year. So I know myself. I already hit it this morning at plus 400. Will Disley to score a touchdown today.
That's a
Um,
that's a very strong bet. And if you look at the
Yeah,
history of his career, he's been in the league
that's what
about
he's a goal line guy. He's literally a goal line drag route, out
yeah,
route. I'm just gonna get
yeah,
it to you over the top. You fall
so
down the end
his
zone.
so his rookie year, first 4 games of his rookie year, he scored a touchdown in all of them. He was knee out, didn't play the rest of the season. Following year, he scored a touchdown in the first 2 games, hurt his knee again, missed the next one. Next year was last year. He played relatively mid, didn't have a huge role recovering from it.
Yeah.
Now he looks like he's getting right back into form. So
Yep.
yeah,
I definitely had to throw that out there. That's like 10 to win $40, $100 better, $400 win if you don't
yeah,
know betting you're watching. But jumping on to the next game, and it's the last one of the 1 o'clock slate is the Dolphins Jets game. I know I said Dolphins Patriots earlier, but it's Dolphins Jets.
yeah.
I honestly without Tua, and this sucks to say. I just had this conversation with somebody the other day. This sucks to say because we're saying, oh, without Tua, they can't do it. But before the season, we were all like, Tua is not the difference. So we're all saying like, oh, Tua is not
shout
that
out
guy.
Rob. I told you,
You
be all right,
know,
Rob.
yeah, and,
Yeah.
and and we were saying, oh, Tua is not the reason they're gonna go. But now, here I am, this Sunday morning saying because they don't have Tua, I don't think they're gonna win this game. Teddy, great backup quarterback. If he honestly had a couple more chances at the previous places he was at, I think he'd be a starting quarterback in the league still right now. But at this point in his career, I don't think he's just gonna pick up this Miami team, and I just don't see it. Tua's been this system's like so built around Tua that you kind of need him there to run it. His wide receivers should be able to bail him out today, but they're also Tyreek and Jalen Water are both kind of banged up right now.
Yeah,
Then on the other side, you got Zach Wilson, who just came back last week and lit it up. Um, Now this week at home, division game. Everybody's healthy for the Jets. Their offense has Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, Michael Carter, Tyler Conklin. Very quiet name, but if you don't have a starting tight end right now, he wouldn't be a bad one to start.
very good. Still has Corey Davis. Still
Yeah,
has
still you still have
Yeah,
Corey Davis, Elijah
yeah,
Moore, who
Elijah.
we kind of forgot about while Flacco was there, but Zach Wilson
yeah.
loves Elijah Moore. We saw that his first game, he gave him like 8 targets. Um, so I think it's gonna be a good game. I'm really excited to see more. Honestly, the Dolphins defense versus Jets offense. I think
Yeah,
that's gonna be the most interesting part of the game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know if the Dolphins are going to be able to win this game necessarily on offense. I mean, I think they're going to have to play good defense and
Hmm.
try to run the ball. And we'll see how Teddy Bridgewater does early on in the game. If he does struggle a little bit, I could see the Dolphins going to the third string quarterback, Skylar Thompson. He did play pretty well in the preseason, so we'll see what happens. I mean, but we do have Hill out there. We got Jalen Waddle, so that's a good thing. I mean,
Is Skylar Thompson? Is he from Kansas State?
I
um,
believe so.
Is
yeah, I have
that
to
who
look
that
at it.
is? Skylar Thompson? Wow, I
Yeah,
didn't know he was with the Dolphins.
yeah.
Hmm.
Uh,
So
He was a big arm guy at Kansas State. You know the Big 12 schools, they score a lot on
yeah,
offense.
yeah.
So you're actually going against the Dolphins today. What's your
Not.
pick, Rob?
I mean, I got to go with my team. I can't go. I
Okay,
can't go
okay,
against my
okay,
team.
okay.
I can see. I can see the Jets making it a game. I think it's going to be a tough game
Hmm.
because MetLife Stadium is going to be packed. The Jets just came off a big win against the Steelers, but they could have a letdown today. You never know. Anytime
Yeah.
you come up, even though the Steelers are struggling, you come up with a big win against the road to a team that's against a team that's normally good. You know, you kind of have a letdown.
Yeah.
So we'll see what
Absolutely.
happens. It's a division game, though. I mean, division games are always tough. So, and you know how the Dolphins and Jets play each other. So, you know, I think it's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
tough game. Hopefully, Miami can pull it out.
Yeah. I'm gonna ride the hype train for a bit. I'm gonna go Jets. I do think it's gonna be a show of whether Zach Wilson is really real or not,
Mm-hmm.
because the Miami defense is legit. But
Hmm.
I know that they've struggled to run the ball all year. Chase Edmonds hasn't really been who they've asked him to be, um, nor has Raheem Mostert. They've kind of just both been real average guys. Miles Gaskins really hasn't been able to crack either of their spots either, so that
Mm-hmm.
hurts. I don't think that Tyreek Hill and Waddle being so banged up is going to affect them too much. They'll be able to lean on Mike Gesicki a little bit or Ced Wilson if they have to. I think those guys are capable. But it does come down to the chemistry that Teddy Bridgewater has. Jalen Waddle will probably still succeed, but Tyreek Hill being a deep threat and Teddy Bridgewater being the opposite of a deep threat quarterback kind of puts a fork in there. Whereas Zach Wilson is kind of a question mark by his name. So I think
Definitely.
there's a lot of a lack of preparation for him just based off of a lack of knowing what to prepare for. And so I think
Exactly. Yeah.
role.
I mean, I do think that offense gets some production just because a lot of the same plays they use with two, as far as like the wide receiver
RPO game.
screens or RPO stuff, he should be able to run. I honestly, I wonder if it messes with anything that he's right-handed versus Tua being left-handed.
Absolutely does.
I feel like it does. It messes with the calls a lot. So that's just one thing to watch for as well. That's just another thing he has to overcome. So we can't just say, "Oh, Teddy Bridgewater sucks." It is a
Right.
lot of preparation. Like it's a very crucial time for that to be happening. You have banged up wide receivers. Mike Gesicki hasn't been any part of the offense whatsoever. Will
Oh,
that
Yeah,
change today? You know what I'm
and rightfully
saying?
so.
I think that's a big thing.
Gesicki was supposed to be like a top, I'll say top 7 tight end coming into the league this year based off his production last year, and
Yeah,
he has not been any part of the offense at all. So just a lot of
yeah,
stuff to watch for there. If the Dolphins put the right game plan together, I definitely think they can win this game. They're actually
Yeah.
favored to win this game, so that should happen. But I like the Jets at home. I think the Jets are going
yeah.
to catch them on a good week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Another thing with Miami is they've had more time to prepare. Obviously, they've been off since last
Yes.
Thursday when they played the Bengals. So there's no excuses really coming into this game. They've had plenty of time to prepare, more time than the Jets have. So I see them coming out ready.
Yeah.
yep. We've already have a touchdown from Josh Allen here today to Gabe Davis. They're already up on the Steelers 7-0. So I'm glad we
Fantasy.
we
Yeah.
skipped that game. Oh yeah, Josh Allen. Yeah, you gotta have Josh Allen in one of your leagues.
Yep.
But
I don't have Josh Allen. I got Gabe Davis.
for Gabe Davis, yeah,
Yep.
definitely. But thank you guys for coming on. We'll try to do a show either tonight or if not, we will see you guys next week. But thanks as always for tuning in, everybody live and everybody watching later. Thanks, guys. It's another episode of the Blitz. See you later.
Peace.
Peace. Have a good one. Enjoy the